For more than 200 years, our tradition of welcoming immigrants from around the world has given us a tremendous advantage over other nations.
We are hammering these terrorists,
The economic
taking out their
situation
fighters,
of this country
their commanders,
was so perilous.
hundreds of vehicles and
We
tanks.
announced that the TARP program is going to be expanded to cover
Mr. Chang, the
auto
Financial
loans and
Times.
credit cards.
The $112 million for
Sony
DARPA will
surrender
support intermediate
is a
efforts aimed at
setback
developing
for free
technologies
speech.
that are
Do you
relevant
agree with that?
to the
The
Ebola
recent
crisis.
events in Ferguson have brought to light many of the problems that still exist in
The
our nation.
CIA's enhanced interrogation techniques were not an effective
You'll be
way
able to apply
gather
to stay in this
intelligence
country
information.
temporarily without fear of deportation. You can come out of the shadows.
King Obama's taking control of everything. No, just kidding. I think it makes sense, and I'm glad to see that Barack Obama's kind of taking a stand on something, rather than just kind of, say, okay, we need to do this, and then nothing gets done, and no one does anything, and everyone keeps kind of slamming in different directions, and we don't go anywhere. And so I would support it.
You know what? He's president. I feel like he should be able to do whatever he wants. Well, not whatever he wants, but I feel like in the sense that he's president, he makes the right choices when he has to.
I think that it was a really good idea because I feel like anyone who is here, who came here illegally, obviously needs some kind of second chance. And so I don't think it's fair that they should be kicked out right away, for even if they did do something wrong. There are plenty of Americans every single day who do plenty of worse things than a lot of immigrants. And so I think that it was a really good thing.
Personally, I think it's a good idea. He probably should do an executive order that involves getting illegal immigrants and citizenship so they can get jobs and get better pay and learn how the system works in today's society.
Well, there's two ways I look at this. One is I teach government, so it's very exciting for me to bring this information into the classroom and allow us to look at both sides of the issue. Do I want this president to use that, or do I want this Congress, the next Congress, to be able to, I don't know. Again, I'm a high school teacher. I'm very close to students. I don't like it when the kids that I care for are directly affected, and I'm actually seeing that right this very minute. I have a student who is probably going to have to go home with his family to Mexico because something happened. Separate from the kids that I know, the honest answer to that question is I don't know. I do understand the United States, many people in the United States being angry at Obama for his use of the executive order. I don't believe Congress will do anything about abuse of power. If he does use it, they will try to change it. I don't know. I truly don't know how I feel about that one.
If you've been in America for more than 5 years, if you have children who are American citizens or legal residents, if you register, pass a criminal background check, and you're willing to pay your fair share of taxes, you'll be able to apply to stay in this country temporarily without fear of deportation.
Well, it affects us, whether it's negative or positive. We have a number of undocumented students here, and they are using resources, and it does affect us. If, for whatever reason, all of our students that are in the that are in MA who are undocumented left, it would have a huge effect in that we would need to bring in grief counselors. We would need to, we would need to deal with the emotional fallout if we were to have everybody who doesn't have papers to leave the United States. MA would have a direct hit because we care about our students here. You might not all hang out with each other at lunch, but watch how fast this campus comes together over an issue if a large segment of our population was to be forcibly removed.
Okay, so I had this experience. My cousin's now 7 years old, but 7 years ago, my uncle had been here for 20 years, and his father died after those 20 years that he had been in the United States, so he had to go back to Mexico for the funeral. After that, he tried entering the country once again, and he was successful, but then he was within like a month or so he was deported. So, and while that happened, my aunt was pregnant. They had previously 2 boys, and the child my aunt was pregnant with was a girl, so it was going to be their first girl. So my uncle didn't get to experience when the baby was born, and I think that's really unfair because even until now he still has no connection with her whatsoever. I mean, they talk on the phone, but it's not the same as growing up with your parent and having them as a role model. So she just grew up with one parent and her older brother, which is, he's my age, he's 17 years old, and he is the father. He's her father, that's her role model. I think it's going to affect our school because, one, I know that I have been in classes with a girl that her mom got deported, and I think that if that law or executive action that Obama gave, I think it would have really benefited her and she would be able to focus on her studies.
I think it is, not everybody's going to ever be satisfied. I think that there needs to be some type of amnesty program for those people who have been here, who have clean records. There needs to be something done.